You're listening to Errol Parker and Clancy Overall, editors of the Betoota Advocate, on Desert Rock FM. Well, welcome back to the Betoota Advocate radio show. And today may be our first Olympic gold medalist. What do you reckon, Errol?
Last time we came to Melbourne, Clancy, we interviewed one, Dylan Alcott. If you're listening, hello, Dylan.
Dylan Alcott. We more look at him as a bit of a...
Oh, come on, guys.
Yeah. Like, he's won so many gold medals. Mack Horton, you're our second Olympic gold medalist. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, boys.
Now, you just said before you're not very good at sitting still. Is that like common amongst athletes in the village and just in general? Like, I just feel like there'd be a lot of hyperactivity amongst people who have to perform physically for a living.
Yeah,
like,
well,
exert
firstly,
themselves.
you've put me on a swivelly chair, which isn't great. I reckon the worst, though, is athletes falling asleep. Swimmers in particular, they twitch a lot. Like on planes and stuff, you'll be dozing off and then you'll just kick the person in front of you. You throw your arm out into the aisle and then the trolley will hit you or something. Yeah. It's not great.
So you've lived a life of early mornings. Is that the truth? Is swimming's one of those sports?
Yeah. 14 years, I think, of getting up at... Well, it used to be 4:30. It's now 5:20. Live a bit close to the pool. Getting a bit older. Get a little bit of a sleep in.
So it's every day?
6 days a week. But then, because you're doing it 6 days a week, you're waking up early anyway on a Sunday.
It's just you and that black line.
Yeah. You get used to it. In bed, I'm usually in bed 8:30, 9. Anything past that's a late night.
Now, rowing, we understand, still a water in the early hours.
Yeah.
Is there any reason for swimmers to be up that early? You're usually in enclosed kind of pools.
I think no one really knows, and everyone's just kind of always been doing it that way, and that's the way it's always going to be done. My theory is, because you do 2 training sessions in a day, so you have the morning and afternoon, and so you need the recovery time in the middle of the day. But then also if you have, it's not just me training, we have a squad, so there's some kids that have to go to school, people have uni, people have jobs, so you got to be able to have a normal day around it as well.
It's just part of the culture, really.
Yeah.
It's not like you're sharing, at your level, you're not sharing the pool with swim lessons and stuff like that.
No, it's 2 people a lane, yeah.
I'm just trying to think what would be the Olympic sport that would have the laziest athletes in it. Talking maybe trap shooting, I can't see, what's his name, Michael Diamond. I can't see him doing too many early mornings.
Too many beep tests.
I don't want to throw them under the bus.
No. There's a solidarity there. Yeah, I reckon power throwers actually, more I think about it, would work out heaps.
But it's probably not working out like you would traditionally think of it, but they'd practice a lot. I was chatting to Catherine Skinner, who won a medal in Rio, and I was saying, how do you train for this? And she's like, you just practice body awareness with the gun. They just have to know exactly where the gun is pointing at every point. And so they don't even think about it. They don't look. They just move their body and they know where it's going to go. Is
there kind of a tribalism with the aquatics in the village? You guys stick together?
Yeah, definitely. Especially in Rio, it was programmed so that finals were on primetime TV in the US.
Yeah.
So we were racing finals 11 o'clock at night. Our heats were midday. So we were we didn't see anyone in the village. We were having dinner at 2, 3 a.m., breakfast when everyone else is having lunch, and then lunch at dinner. And so just in this little world of swimmers for 2 weeks. It was crazy.
So was it just you, or was it the swimmers from all over the world? Because I'm intrigued to know what Ryan Lotkey's like in real life. Because in Rio, he did get into a bit of trouble, not too much, but
yeah, he tends to do that.
What's he like?
A little bit.
Is he a bit,
Yeah, he's interesting.
Yeah.
He's in his world, I guess. Yeah.
Thinking about dipping your toe into the waters of cryptocurrency and blockchain after a pissed conversation with an old mate from school? Already got a portfolio of random digital coins from that 2-month craze that consumed speculative investors a year or 2 back? Or are you an actual cryptocurrency investor who hates the big banks and traditional markets? Well, Mine Digital is your gateway to the world of cryptocurrency and digital assets. Whether you want to simply buy and sell or access advanced features, Mine has all the tools you need. And it's the only Australian-based crypto exchange with an Australian financial services license. So have a look at minddigital.exchange. Now into the show. Swimming is big in Australia. It's a big Olympic sport, and it's a big kind of game sport that everyone tunes in. Everyone knows who you are, and everyone knows each generation of swimmers. There's a few other countries like that. I think New Zealand would be one of them. I mean, outside of that other country that you are a household name in, where have you found pockets of swimming fans? Is America's big on it?
America's big on it. Italy is, well, most of Europe as well is pretty big on it. But I spent some time training with a guy called Gregorio Peltrineri from Italy. And after Rio, I went to Italy with him, and we were like doing touristy things. People would recognize him, mostly Italians. They'd give us a meal, whatever. And then the internationals would recognize me, and it was like this ongoing joke / competition to see who would get recognized most. Surprisingly, even in Italy, like I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
We're going to get into now the other country that you're kind of quite popular in. How do you manage your social media without, being kind of facing a brute force attack of hackers and the likes?
I manage it like anyone else would. I don't do anything.
Right.
I just run it as if I was posting for family and friends and that sort of thing. It's still like I'm in complete control, and I guess mentally block out whatever I don't want to see.
Yeah, because it's interesting because our book that's coming out at the end of the year was due to be printed in China for economic reasons. And for every book that gets printed in China, it has to go past an internal censorship board.
Did it get dropped?
It got knocked back.
Wow.
So I think it'd be pretty safe to say that me and Clancy won't ever get to walk on the Great Wall of China. We won't ever get...
We're all in the same boat, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be able to even get the boat across to Kowloon. I think that vast area of that continent is now out of reach. Like, do you get any advice from, the Department of Foreign Affairs, from the AOC? It's like, well, can you just pump the brakes? Because that's what the government wants you to do, is just to smooth everything over.
Not
their government anyway.
I don't get things directly, but I hear things like there's a lot going on in the background that I'm not aware of, I think.
Well, I guess
we're all in it together, though.
You got us here too. We're printing it in Hong Kong now. So hold on, Hong Kong. Let's just get that book printed.
I guess the alternative would be to go along with the status quo and pretend that China's as above board as the New Zealanders are.
Can you tell us how that all started? When did you, obviously it started at the last Olympics, but when did you kind of get the information that kind of triggered something in you and kind of caused you to speak out?
The information's like always there. Like if you're into swimming news, you're pretty across
so
it.
It's not gossip. It's not things you're hearing amongst swimming types. No,
it's like proper information. But like when you spend so much time on pool deck, I guess, at international competition, you see how things go on, you hear how things go on.
You see patterns?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like at I think it was the 1984 games in LA. That's when I think that's when the world first got a bit of a glimpse into what HGH can do to a person if it's totally unregulated.
Yeah.
You heard something, and had you made any noise before you kind of gave that interview, or were you the first to really speak out?
No, that was it. There's I guess whispers, but I don't think anyone had kind of done it publicly. But everyone was definitely everyone thinks it, and talks about it a bit. And it's just like, why do it like behind curtains? Why?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've always thought it'd be interesting to see, if there was an Olympic Games that was with no drugs, and then there was one just with drugs, and just to see what the difference would be.
It'd be insane. Also, the life expectancy
would go straight down.
You'd really be carking. Yeah, they would.
Yeah, it's like,
unregulated.
Stephen Dank can be the team doctor for Australia, and it's just these these big things. It's like, who's got the most powerful peptides?
Australia wouldn't participate.
No, I think
I mean, we unofficially do in 2 football codes, but have you had any correspondence with Mr. SY since?
No.
No.
Not in years.
His people haven't sent anything to your people, or
I suppose you can't really inbox him because
he's on WeChat.
He's in China where they can't do anything.
Digging all sorts of holes here.
But yeah, you have found some sort of solidarity from other athletes from other countries, and it kind of showed at the World Aquatic Championships.
Yeah, definitely. And even just in the Australian team, that was a hard week at the World Championships just gone. And I guess just the way we all rallied around each other and got through the week, because as much as the pressure was like on me for that week, it put a lot of pressure on the rest of the team as well, which was probably the hardest thing for me to deal with through that week.
Yeah. Can you see how those kind of mistakes can happen? Do people hand you things in cups and take this? Or, for example, when you talk about someone like Sandor Earl, who was a Cronulla Sharks player who didn't really know what any of these things were, and then he ended up getting kind of scapegoat of the entire Cronulla Sharks peptide ring. Is it kind of like you guys are on a conveyor belt at times?
Not really. Like you're in full control, and you have to take, I guess, full responsibility. Like I've had. Last time I went to the dentist, I had a filling. I didn't want the injection to numb it because I didn't want like the adrenaline in my system because that you can test positive to that. So I had filling done without having it numbed.
What? It's what they would ping you for having a heightened rate of adrenaline.
Yeah, because you can like inject adrenaline or whatever, and then help you train or race or
really.
Yeah.
So you really need to be well read on this shit.
Yeah, well, but there's like a database. Every time you take something, you just search it up, and
yes,
you get a receipt. It says proof I've searched it.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Are there what other kind of things do you have to avoid doing? Because that sounds fucking quite painful, man.
That's probably the worst thing. I think.
Yeah, wearing that one.
Yeah.
I mean, how often are a starter popping up?
Like, is it totally random?
It's pretty random.
Like they could come in through the door right now and say...
Well, they don't know I'm here. No, but you have to give them an hour every single day of the year and say, I will be there for that hour. So usually for me, it's like just a training. Yeah. And like going into the Olympics, they were coming every 2 weeks probably for blood and urine. It's slowed down a bit recently, probably once a month now. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. As everyone's kind of made it clear over the last few months, there is a difference between, slipping up with a filling and smashing your vials with a hammer.
Yes.
Moving on. Now, what's the countdown to the next Olympics?
I should know this. I reckon it's 303-ish days.
Yeah.
There's a countdown in the gym where I train.
Yeah.
It's somewhere around there, almost 300. Right. But we're getting there. Yeah,
getting there. Like, what's the next big thing? Is that the next big thing for you guys? Because you had the World Championships. Yeah,
for us it's trials. So the trials for swimming are only 5 weeks before the Olympics, and that's more stressful than the Olympics. There's more pressure on that than the Olympics, because like in some events there's 5 people that could be fast enough to go to the Olympics, could be an Olympic final, but they have to cut that down to 2. So it's essentially a home Olympic final, and then you go and race another one 5 weeks later.
I know that the rules have been changed recently where, it's a bit harder to get into the Olympic Games, but I've always wondered how, at the Sydney Games, how did Eric the Eel, like how did he end up in the Olympics?
I think...
Because he was from Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah.
It's a tiny nation.
There's like A qualifying, B qualifying, and then I think they open it up to like maybe 1 spot per nation.
Yeah.
Well, in swimming anyway, that's my understanding, because there's a large number of athletes. But Australia won't let you go unless you're making the A qualifying time, and the A qualifying time is top 8 in the world from the times of the last year. So if you're not going to make the final, they won't send you.
Really?
Yeah. It's cutthroat, but it's
pretty hard.
It's taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Who is paying for the airfares though? Is it Qantas or is it the AOC?
I don't know.
It
Because
depends what Qantas is sponsoring that year.
No, but like if you I will say, like, at Rio, how you went over there on a Qantas plane and you came back. If you won a gold, were you allowed to go, like, up into first?
Yeah, you
or
get
like up into
business
business
class.
If you
Oh,
win.
hell yeah.
Yeah, it was business class on the way back. There was no first class on the.
Imagine if the hockey team won. You'd be done, you know?
Well, the basketball team was very front of the plane, like business in the nose cone.
Yeah, right.
They
They're
didn't win.
huge, though.
Yeah.
They didn't win.
They're sitting next to the pilot. Yeah, right.
They were in front of us.
That might be due to their severe height
Yeah.
issues. But what
with
other
Bogut's
perks do you
knees.
find immediate perks after winning a gold that we imagine as everyday viewers and citizens that kind of immediately, there's a Kellogg's contract, there's obviously business class on the plane, someone gives you a car. What country was it where they was just flat out buying them Lamborghinis? It was some Gulf state, but
Brunei.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll move there.
Well, yeah, what's the kind of like traditional kind of stuff? Is it
Not as many. The business class on the way home is probably the biggest thing. It's been a long period of travel, and you just want to get home, and it's nice when you can lay flat. When you get home, there's like parades in each capital city, which I hear are a bit of fun. I didn't do them because I went to Europe for a holiday with my girlfriend.
hell yeah?
People recognize you for a few weeks, and then it goes back to normal.
Well, that's another thing. You are, how tall are you? I've got it sitting in front of me. You are 190 centimetres.
Yeah.
6'3".
How tall are you, Clancy?
I'm just an inch or two above Mac.
Yeah.
Funnily enough.
Get into swimming.
Was a great swimmer at
Yeah.
one point until I started smoking cigarettes. Now, you.
Well, every swimmer in the world is an asthmatic.
Is that true?
Because,
Well, we can just ask the one sitting in front of us.
Quite a few are, yeah.
because they all need a Ventolin puffer.
Yeah, right.
No, but there are some genuine asthmatics. But also a lot of people got into swimming, like doctors recommended to them get into swimming to help your asthma.
Yeah, right.
And then they end up being,
World beaters.
yeah.
Is that how you got in? How did you start?
Well, I was originally scared of the water, couldn't put my head under. And this is like learned to swim at school in like a PE class. Finally put my head under, and then
You
they
could touch
just
the bottom though.
Yeah.
Could touch the bottom.
And
They couldn't get me out. I just loved it.
Right.
And then just
You're not
Yeah.
coastal though. You
No, well-
suburban kid. Like you didn't
Yeah.
live near the water.
eastern suburbs of Melbourne.
Yeah, right.
well, did you ever try other things that are purpose built for tall beanpoles? Like, were we like? Did you ever have a go at being a fast bowler?
No, I did basketball and tennis, but
Yeah,
I didn't have
on the wings in.
That is bizarre for
In
someone who grew up
footy,
in Melbourne to
yeah.
have not played Australian rules football at your height.
Yeah, well, I'm not very coordinated.
Yeah,
Didn't
right.
have the glasses. Couldn't really see the balls.
Yeah, right.
And Dad played like a bit of VFL back in the day, so he knows the toll it takes on your body, and he's
Yeah,
like,
right.
it's just easier if you don't destroy your body right now.
Yeah, right. Now, just back to your height. Liz Cambridge has that kind of issue where she can't really, well, she does,
Yeah.
but she struggles going to a music festival.
Yeah.
It's not like she can't go. She does go to them.
Just sticks out.
Sticks
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Do you get that a little bit if you're
The height, not so much.
Yeah.
The shoulders are a bit more of a giveaway.
right?
Getting through crowds with the shoulders
Yeah,
or
right.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, and doors.
Yeah, doors.
Yeah.
In and out of cars.
So how old were you when you thought, like, what comp was it? What was it when everyone was like, okay, this is where this kid should be looking at, channeling his energy?
For me, there was like no point where I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. I just kind of kept loving it, and ended up at the Olympics. It's just like the same still. Like I just love swimming. I love training. I love the routine. And yeah, I'll keep going until I stop loving it, basically.
And is that kind of tends to happen a little bit, doesn't it, with swimmers? They're like, oh,
You
that's
stop
enough of
loving
me.
it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I can see how people burn out. Like
Yeah.
it takes, I don't know, I've been going for 13, 14 years now, like 8+ sessions a week. It happens.
And is it true now you got underwater headphones?
Well, I don't. They might exist. I don't
So
know.
you don't, okay.
The
Right.
like, because I spend so much time in the water, I guess I'm so aware of like the drag on my body, and like
Right.
a little thing like that I can feel.
So you're just going to forego it. I mean, it's not exactly laps anymore, is it? or is it
Well,
explosive?
you're still swimming laps.
Yeah, no. But it's not. You're not at the point now where it's up now. I go 3K, get going.
No. It's like, for example, like 3100s at pace or something like that. Yeah.
Do you wear your contacts in the pool, or do you just go bareback? You know.
I don't think anyone goes. They all wear goggles.
Your goggles.
My goggles are
prescription
glasses. Yes, they're prescription.
Like the basketballs.
Yeah.
I did have some sports glasses towards the end of my basketball career.
It's a good look. It's a great look on a tall man.
So I know that Clancy has tried for many years to nominate himself for an Order of Australia medal. Did you have to nominate yourself, or is that something that comes with,
this?
having
I
a
should
gold
have
medal?
said this in the perks. This is a perk.
Yeah, right.
It's just like the automated process. I think it just happens. It's pretty special though. Like it's a big deal. Yeah.
And you joined, by a lot of people on the day, not just athletes.
Yeah. It's a big day. But like the day I went, it was mostly athletes, just because I think they do a few ceremonies a year. But yeah, Government House here in Melbourne is it's special.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like being in a cult, I reckon. All the people with the pins walking around. If you know, you know.
Yeah. So what events are you looking at this next Olympics? I mean, obviously you said it's cutthroat getting in. You'll probably get in, just judging by your form in the championships. 400
free, and then 200 freestyle. So hopefully the relay as well. Relay comes before the individual because there's more people, obviously, and then the 800 as well.
So no medley?
No, I can't do medley. Freestyle only. I can't do anything else.
Yeah, right. Well, we talk about this with politics. There's not like one person in the Labor Party who doesn't want to be Prime Minister. Likewise with the Liberal Party. Is there anyone swimming in Australia who doesn't want to swim freestyle? Is it like this... Are
like
there people
they're
that are
stuck in their stroke, but they have no choice?
Well, people are like, I'm a backstroker. That's all I do, day and night.
Like everyone has their specialty, but I think like everyone's happy with their specialty because like you're happy and you're having fun when you're good at things and you're beating people. Yeah. Like if that's what you're good at.
But there's no career backstrokers. Don't touch anything else. I'd like to meet one of them.
If you're a backstroker, you're a backstroker. That's all you do, really.
Yeah, really.
So yeah, you're locked in. I'm locked into freestyle. I can't do anything else.
Every time I see the butterfly, I'm like, what happened to them as kids that made them, it's like just
they are the toughest
it is so
kids.
hard.
Yeah, they're the military class.
Yeah,
they're the military class of
They're
swimmers.
on another level.
Yeah. Are they the hotheads? Michael Klim was he was a butterflyer.
Yeah.
And he kind of had that raw aggression. Are there cultural differences? Like, say, is a breaststroker more of the playboy of the medley?
There's subtleties, I guess.
You're like, those fucking backstrokers, man.
Well, the 1500 meters, I think that's a real, that's a bit of a noodle scratcher.
That's a big dick event.
Yeah. I did that for a little bit.
That really is.
I only gave it up like 2 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Have you ever broken any PBs within an event?
Probably in a 1500 when I was younger. Like when you're young, you can do anything. It's crazy. Yeah. And you just like break the 400 record on the way through and the 800 or whatever. Like Hacky did in the Olympics.
Yeah. So have you ever actually touched the yellow line?
The yellow line. It's not real.
Yeah, I know, but from our seat watching the screen, it's have you ever floated with it? Do you think?
I think maybe in Rio, the first 200, we were close-ish.
Yeah.
I've definitely been in races where people are there, but they don't normally hang on.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that the yellow line isn't projected onto the pool from up in the roof, and that's what everyone's chasing.
It's always yellow. Sometimes it's red.
It's like, where is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's behind me.
It'd be good if you could actually see it though. Like it would push you along. I reckon.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's what actually in the year 2000 Olympics, everyone thought it was real because when Klim nearly broke it, he did that hand sign with like I was just there. The Leighton, now known as the Leighton Hewitt. The line I think is a great one is the grey one, the Commonwealth Games kind of world record that follows all the others.
Yeah.
No, that's the OR.
OR?
Olympic record.
Olympic record.
Olympic record. All right. No, they put Com Games in there and they put Olympic, and then they sometimes put your PB in there.
I don't know. It's
Really?
always different. Like, depends what the event is and who's televising it. But there's so many different records.
Yeah.
Like, just have one record, the world record.
What's the kind of attitude when you guys have a big win like that? Because obviously it's not like, you know, we're in Melbourne at the moment. They've got the grand final this weekend. If those guys win, they
It's a
go out
big
and have a
parade,
drink.
yeah.
But you can't do that if you're halfway through an Olympics
No.
and you win a 400-meter gold medal. What do you do?
On
Just-
day one.
Yeah.
No, well, I get like in the team, it's just kind of known that you all kind of stick it out together to get to the end of the week, wait till everyone's done racing, and then you enjoy your time together. Swimmers are lucky in that typically we get to stay in the village for the second week. A few sports get kicked out so other sports can come in because it's like limited accommodation. But yeah, the swimmers luck out.
Who are the loosest people in the village? Because I've heard some stories about the people in the sailing team. I've heard that when they have a bit of a win, they like to, you know, go for a bit of a wander.
Have a few sherbets.
Yeah, you know, go and have a look at what some of the local offerings are. You know, there's a few bars. A few
I haven't
clubs.
heard this. Day one, some people will like make it to the Olympics, just do their event, like not swimming, like any sport. And then if they're done on day one, they just go for it for the rest. Like you're walking around the village and people are just partying. It's like 3 a.m. There's like a designated like games room with like arcades, pool table. It just goes off like
Right.
24 hours a day. It's just...
Are the rumours about the high level of romance between athletes, the high level of intimacy?
I'd say so.
I'd imagine so. I mean, you got people like LeBron James getting around.
Even if it's not, you know, I'd still like to think in my head that, you know, that's kind of
I've
what
definitely
happens.
heard stories. I haven't had any experience. I've been in a... Yeah.
You're going to Europe straight after your event.
Yeah,
So.
with my girlfriend and in love. Yeah.
Well, that is interesting. What's the feeling like at, say, the World Aquatic Championships? Like, where was it this year?
Gwangju,
Right. Okay.
South Korea.
Right. That's every 4 years as well.
Every 2.
Right.
So it alternates with Olympics, Worlds, Com Games.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
the
a cycle
Pan-Pacs.
and Pan Pacs same year as Com
Yeah.
Games. You're across it.
Is that a big event? Is that?
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
obviously wouldn't. Nothing
Like
can be
we
as big as
only
the
have
Olympics.
one major event a year, really.
Yeah.
Like it's the Olympics is obviously the pinnacle every
Yeah.
4 years, but apart from that, it's Worlds once every 2 years or
Right.
Com Games. So like that's it. That's it for the year.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's massive.
Yeah.
And like it's not. It's like you look at AFL or whatever. They get to play every week for majority of the year. We have like one race or one
Yeah.
competition across like 8 days a year.
Yeah.
And if you've only made it for one event, you have
Yeah.
like only have a heat. Or you have a heat.
Yeah,
and
Imagine
well-
if footballers had that kind of downtime. That would there'd
be
be a
amazing.
lot of gambling things going on. And all
Yeah,
kinds
or
of,
if you had a kick to win the only game of the year and you missed it, and then you had
There's
to
a
wait
bit
an
of
entire
pressure.
year
Bit of
to
pressure.
come around.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, how do you manage your downtime? Like between those 2 sessions a day that you've had every single day for 15 years.
Yeah.
Do you get to go to uni? Do you like get to work on tertiary or like outside of swimming?
Yeah,
Do you have-
I'm doing a uni degree, business uni degree.
Yeah.
I've got a job at a bank as an analyst, and yeah, just like fill my days with things like hanging out with you guys,
Yeah,
that
cool.
sort of thing.
Yeah, great.
It's good
Great
fun.
stuff.
Yeah.
And what would you imagine after you retire from swimming, you'd kind of get into that world again, or would you try and?
Back into the swimming.
Or would you
Or-
work in that? Would you work in swimming?
Or would you
Outside
go to
of-
like?
outside of live being a swimmer?
when I'm done, I'm done.
All right. Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I guess, you know, there's a lot more onus really to be in like the capital markets team, or you know, in, obviously not in emerging markets because you know you can't really spend too much time in one of the largest emerging markets in the world.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like when I'm done here with journalism, I'm done.
You're done.
Yep.
You're out.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's next for you then?
Root
I'd say
shooting.
jail
Root shooting.
in China if I ever go there. I
You-
don't think the government would be helping me. Really.
But it would work hand in hand. Like we kind of look at big banks. I don't know what it's like in Victoria, but you go Brisbane and Sydney, you kind of see a lot of cauliflower ears at the in the boardrooms. kind of a lot of ex-players, kind of ex-rugby players especially, make their way to the top. Do you find it kind of works hand in hand with, sport and finance?
Yeah, for me, it's just about like doing something different, getting my mind away from swimming. Like you spend so much time thinking about it, doing it, and if you're just at home sitting on the couch, you're just like counting the minutes until the next session. It's like I got to go do something. Yeah.
You're not a gamer. You're not in that world.
No,
not in online sports betting, that kind of stuff.
Definitely not.
It sounds like you've got some pretty healthy hobbies.
Yeah,
for an athlete, for a professional sportsman.
There's nothing professional about what you're suggesting as a professional sportsman.
Tell us, do you kind of, though, like in the workplace, do they kind of hit you up every now and then like, hey, Mac, we've just got like this event. Do you reckon you could come down and present?
Well, like someone will email me from Sydney who I don't know, and they're like, can you come up and do this talk? I'm like, nah, we've got training. I'm sorry.
It's like, hey, mate, we're going to meet with a big client today.
This was honestly in my first like 2 weeks. They're like, oh, do you want to come sit in on this meeting with this client? And I was like, okay, good experience, good exposure.
Hey, I'm climbing the ranks.
And we got through the meeting, and the guy who invited me in is like, oh, he's a big swimming fan. And I'm just like, oh, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I suppose there's no difference to your family reunions getting wheeled out in front of, the aunties start showing you off.
Yeah.
With the criticism that obviously comes from the Sun Yang fans, what do you think their thinking is? Are they just so loyal to their champion that they just don't think it happened?
Yeah, I think loyalty, but like I don't spend that much time thinking about it, to be honest.
And they're brainwashed.
We'll be editing that up. But you do get hammered by emojis. A lot of Aussie emojis. Flags with the poo emoji and that kind of stuff.
Snake, the syringe.
The snake and syringe is good.
Yeah.
We even got a few red hot DMs when we wrote about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
No, that's how I knew it was a big deal. Was when I saw I knew it had a few articles. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
You don't know about it. Like when you're in the bubble, you don't kind of realize how big it is. And I was just scrolling through Instagram. I was like, oh, Betoota.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It was literally the exact same as the Olympics. That was how it was covered.
Yeah.
So it was,
it's almost like every time we write an article on China or North Korea, we just get slammed.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because, we do have some people in the IT department who enjoy it because it's like, it's a bit different. It's out of the norm. And they see it as a bit of a challenge, It's like, can I keep this website up with, these people trying to take it down?
That said, we should expect that though. That's what happens with other countries. Other countries are much more technically and like illiterate with the online stuff than Australia. We're just not we have a really bad NBN and we don't have every single citizen tapped in using people. We do get a few brute force attacks. There's a lot of people, for us, for example, tapped in online abusing people every day. But the Chinese, they move with a lot of momentum. There's a few more of them too. Now, so what's next on the plate, mate?
We're in trouble.
No, it's all right. We can edit all this out.
It's really just training from here until the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a 9-month block of just grinding it, seeing how far you can push yourself and hopefully come out on the other side better.
What's your diet like, just quickly? Because if you believe the ads on television over the last 20 years, swimmers like to eat a lot of cereal.
I don't mind a bit of cereal. I don't get paid to say I love cereal.
Syrup infused.
No, but just like generally healthy food. A lot of it, but healthy. Yeah. And you can tell when you're eating crap and you're thickening up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, hell
that was us last night in Chinatown. Jesus Christ. We really gave it a nudge. Thanks for joining us today, Mac. All the best into the future, and of course in the Tokyo Olympics, the upcoming Olympics that are in Tokyo,
which I think we're probably going to, Clancy. So.
Are you?
Yeah, there's talk.
Wow.
The
village passes.
Hopefully.
That'd be unreal.
I don't know.
No, I don't think they'd let us do that.
We'd have to do vox pops.
You could get a day pass.
Yeah,
I'll take you on a tour.
We could hop the fence.
You would not be coming home if you hop the fence.
I guess. Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
There's way worse countries to be in jail than in Japan.
Yeah. No, we'll hopefully be doing a bit of stuff on the ground there. So box pops and the like.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah. All the best, Mac. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries.